Okay. I think go ahead and call the meeting to order. Sorry, we're a little bit late. Gentlemen, can you use the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible.
Forgot to notice to have a quorum, with which we do. Lori's got a grandbaby in Minnesota, and Bill was unable to attend, so there's the 5 of us here for this meeting. So it's a nice hat you have there tonight, John. You wearing that with pride?
I am.
Yeah, no.
Well,
I went downstairs. I turned down the points or something like that. I didn't punch it down 15, I turned it off. Turn it back on about 1 minute later. Well, so I'm gonna do. Worked out. So.
Hey, go ahead and do the introduction of visitors. Rob?
Sure, there's a lot of them. Mr. Hanson's here, and then Emma Lobet. She is our vice president.
Emily, you can sit up here always. You don't need to sit over there. You can sit right over here. Sit up right next to Suzanne if you want.
I'm gonna report you today.
And Emma, I don't know if you know everybody. Of course, I know you and Gary Love. Mike
We
Richardson.
introduced ourselves in Rob's
Okay.
office.
You know, Roxanne, England. Chris Reber is a rancher out at Glen. And Cole Cottom is rancher at Lemhi Pass. Suzanne Willis. Your parents.
Paul and Allison Nichols.
Allison and I worked together for a million years at State Banks. And we're one of his favorite people. Okay. And the next thing we have, or the first thing I guess, is review and approve the minutes that Suzanne sent in the packet and Josh did. Of the August 11th meeting.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Is moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. Is there any question or discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, passed unanimously. Okay, next we have the claims and accounts. Josh, do we have
Okay,
those?
has everybody got a copy of those?
Okay.
All right, so our page numbers for this are at the very top. And I apologize, I'm realizing now, typically I try to put page numbers, universal page numbers on all of them. And I didn't this time. But anyway, for the purpose of the claims of approval list, we're on page 1 of 10. And if you go down toward the bottom of the page, you'll see 2029-2, which is the BMO MasterCard, and that's after speaking with Suzanne. It's split, so you'll see it again on another page, but there's $11,254.68. I mean, it's a larger charge, so those kind of jump out off the page at you, and that's pretty standard and typical for our credit card or BMO charges. And as you're kind of looking through the itemized report, it's just a bunch of smaller things. So that's page 1. Then I'm going to jump to page 3. And there's that second one, middle of the page, 2029-3. It's 2169 BMO MasterCard, another $11,873.46. Now we'll call out one itemized portion of that. If you jump down to number 4, under that, you'll see bus parts and supplies. So $9,015.57 of that 11,873 was for bus supplies. So that was the majority of that expense. And then you can kind of just survey view. Everything else is less than $600. With the exception of the BNS Sports, which is for the volleyball. Well, they had a number of things on that, on page 4. Page 5 is the next big one. It's 2029-7. It's the second item down. Charles Taylor Engineering, that's professional services, construction matter, 21,381. And so that's the big number on that page. Those were the things that stuck out to me. If you have any questions over the remaining pages, Suzanne and I will answer as best as we can.
The Northwest Energy one, which is we all realize that fluctuates with winter to summer usage, so.
Motion to approve the expenses.
We have moved and seconded to approve the claims and accounts. Are there any questions or discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. This is unanimously. Okay, you'll do your superintendent report under your part there. Is there any public comment or communication from anyone? I would mention that Mike Richardson and I toured the PE facility with Josh and Jack Ferguson, and we both wholeheartedly agreed with the proposal that he came up with as far as the PE office. Do you have anything to comment on that? Anything more?
Well, I would just mention that if you get any calls or questions, please feel free to contact me and I can update you. Nothing's really changed since last we spoke. The girls' PE teacher is located currently in the men's coaches office. And that's where the girls' PE teacher will remain until that renovation is complete. Now, the girls' PE teacher may go in and out of the girls' PE teacher's office because there are still PE supplies in there, along with girls' basketballs, of which he's also the girls' basketball coach. There are also shoes in there, so sometimes if the girl doesn't have gym shoes, we have some spare shoes in there, and we'll go in there to get shoes for the young lady that might need them. So that's kind of where we're at now. We really hadn't had any improvement. We're more in the ordering phase, ordering doors, ordering a door opener, handicap accessory buttons. And so there's not been any construction as of yet.
Possibly completed by December.
That's my hope.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm hoping before Christmas. And so I'll keep the board updated. If any of you would like to buy and see the space, I'm more than happy to take you on a tour.
It is nice and it's very straightforward, what Josh and Jack have came up with, and to me makes a lot of sense. Appreciate you doing that. And the PE teacher will stay in the men's side until that's completed.
Yep.
Okay. All righty. Any other public comment or communication? I just have one more. I would like to thank the school, Josh and Brock in particular. We had our high school reunion this weekend, and 2 hours out of his Saturday to transport a whole bunch of old people around and look at the school. Some of them hadn't been there for over 50 years, and they were certainly impressed with how this building's been redone and everything that's been done in the BW Lodge, and we did the locker rooms and the music room and the whole shebang. And impressive, you know, when you're showing it off to people that haven't been here for a long time. We have quite a facility and very well maintained and very well.
We- Months ago. Mr. Ainsley showed up here, like my two days, they couldn't believe all the banners in the gym. They were very impressed with the music. Why?
Yeah, the thing that our group was impressed with was when the BW Lodge gym was built in 1968. They ran out of money, so the music room and the band room. Last thing, and it was all in a little bitty room for 50 years. And those people had to share band and share music and share chorals, and now the band room, people were pretty impressed with that. So it is a good facility, great facility. But anyway, thank you to Brock immensely. It was a Western football game. He had things to do, and he couldn't have been any more cordial than who he was. He was super. So thank you. Any other comment and communication? Not, we'll go on to the superintendent's report. Josh?
Okay, so here's one that's come up that Roxanne probably be on. In your purview, it's innovative tax credit update. So essentially, there was some leftover or unexpended funds for one reason or another. And so there's essentially $84,750 left. And that will reopen for claim at 9 AM on September 23rd. And so it could be a great opportunity to generate additional revenue for the district. Suzanne, did you have anything more to say about it, or is that summarize it?
I think that pretty much nails it.
So if any of you have any ideas how we can kind of spread the word, and again, I believe the way that works is it's dollar for dollar. For a dollar for dollar tax credit. So, and we just can, as much as somebody's willing to donate, they'll receive a tax credit in return from the state.
You just need to complete the form and bring it in to you beforehand.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that.
and Suzanne has all the forms as well.
$257,000 was the put back amount, and I think it was gone in 30 seconds.
It was.
Yeah.
Go with somebody who's interested. So if you have, take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
It's awesome.
So I imagine it's gonna go really quick.
Quickly. Yeah. So he needs to come see you the day before possible
Yes.
or soon.
And then they'll do, like the real new one will open again in January. Seems like a really cool program.
Any other questions? Innovative tax credit update? Okay, next is a staff resignation. Silas Leftfall resigned from his position as Route 8 bus driver and utility driver. And I have accepted on behalf of the district. You can see his letter of resignation behind my report, as well as the letter that was sent to him on behalf of the district, accepting his resignation. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar, but he served the district for 15 years. And so we'll miss him, but wish him the best of luck as he moves on to a new chapter in his life. Next, the board of, just wanted to remind you, the Board of Public Ed is coming to visit this Thursday and Friday. Technically, we start on Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to host a social at 5:30 p.m. in the BW Lodge foyer. There'll be light refreshments served, and it'll just be for essentially about an hour, just to kind of do a little meet and greet with the Board of Public Ed. It's an opportunity to kind of share any concerns or any issues that are important to you in education, because they are some of the ultimate decision makers. You as trustees affect policy in Beaverhead County for the high school district. The Board of Public Ed affects policy for the entire state. It also affects policy for us as well. So if you get an opportunity, become the social, that's great. Otherwise, they're going to have meetings, and you will see those agenda meetings. So again, if you get a chance to look over those, There's a meeting Thursday at 8:30, the meeting Friday at 8:30 over at the District 10 elementary and middle schools in their boardroom. And so you can kind of see what they'll be discussing and deciding upon at those meetings. I will be there to speak on Thursday for a few minutes at the Thursday morning meeting. They will be coming to watch our Teen Tones do the national anthem at the veteran ceremony right around noonish, probably about 12:15. And then they're gonna stop back by at 2 o'clock, and I'm gonna take one or two of the AC building, maybe pop in on one of Mr. Igo's advanced ag classes, and then potentially one of Mr. Truman's instruction classes. So you can make it, that's great. Any questions about the Board of Public Ed visit? All right, just want to keep everybody updated on what I'm doing as a School Administrators Montana Fall Conference coming up September 22nd and September 23rd. So that's a Monday and Tuesday in Bozeman. So I plan on attending that conference, seeing any kind of new updates in terms of impact of legislation, anything new that comes to light that may benefit. Otherwise, staff vacancies, we still have one custodial position open. However, we've had some recent interest. We actually had one person who we're about ready to recommend for hire, and that person found another job. Sometimes it just takes too long for the process to get to a board meeting. But Jax tells me that we have had some interest, so maybe we fill that position pretty soon. And then next we have our BCHS Emergency Management Plan. Now originally I had this on the agenda for an action item, but it's like 145 pages long. I want to give you some time to digest that and look over it. This is the product of the entire year's work last year from the BCHS Safety Committee, which Jack is the committee chairperson for. And so they revised and revamped the emergency management plan. It also includes maps, egress maps, evacuation maps of every building that we have here on our campus in the appendices. So we're going to take a look over that between now and the October meeting. It's my goal to have that on the agenda for board approval at the October meeting. And then last but not least is my September schedule, which is filling up very quickly. And I'd be happy to answer any questions about that. I guess a couple that I would point out. On September 17th, it's a Wednesday, once a month that we have our regional superintendent meeting, and that's in Manhattan. And so I'll be going to Manhattan that Wednesday. It's like 11:30 to 1. And I'm going to try to hustle back because I've got stuff going on later that evening here. The very next day is the Perkins regional meeting for a Perkins grant. That's for our career and tech ed money. And we don't get a lot of money for that, but every little bit counts. And so the board, the state's now requiring, OPI, I should clarify, is requiring that somebody attend that in every district, that a decision maker and a CTE teacher attends that meeting. So we have a meeting we actually have a meeting this Thursday, and I'm already double booked with a meeting with our CTE teachers, because we have to fill out 6 worksheets that are about the Perkins grant that we're supposed to complete and take to that meeting. It sounds like that maybe Kim Conan's, she's volunteered to attend as our CTE person. And I believe that the committee will probably support that because most of them are tied up with activities during that time. And so the county health meeting, September 19th. We're going to discuss a flu shot clinic. We're I think tentatively planning for October 1st for a flu shot, but I'll get you more information on that when that comes out. And then again, September 23rd and 22nd, 23rd is the SAM conference in Bozeman. Any questions? That's all I have, Gary.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Josh? Thank you very much. Next is the assistant. Can't say it, assistant report.
Well, the first couple of weeks of school, short weeks, thought went well. When we come in, first thing with freshmen, Mrs. Hanson did some nominations. It's freshmen who want to be part of student council, and then later on they vote on them. So we have those representatives all picked out, so Stephanie Pate will be one, Charles Morgan and Ripley Reister. And then for the officers, class officers, the freshman would be Will Anderson, Elizabeth Stedman, is our vice president, Will was our president. Things. Ulaki, his secretary, and Sage Rhodes is treasurer. And then, of course, Emma Robus is our vice president. Izzy Reagan is our street body president. Our secretary is Sage Dash. Our treasurer is Amelia Mackey. Just for FYI, senior class officer is President Bradley Alvarez, and me. Vice President Sam George, Secretary is Rowdy Madison, and then treasurer. What else is going on? Seems like there's a lot of things. Next week, on Monday, we'll have what's called State of Mind, and it's an organization got together, they received a grant, and so for last year, this year, next year, about 20 or so schools in Montana, and not just schools, but communities, and trying to improve mental health and kind of bring that into a spotlight. During the day, they're going to work with a small group of students. After school, they would like to work with a group of teachers and community members. And then that night, they'll send this around. They get all this information and then they do a performance. And so we started with at the end of last year, and then they're gonna come in and do their thing in the day. So that's around University of Montana Western's part of it. Miranda's in, is working with it, and then Lilia from Public Health, the director of Public Health, she's also kind of been on the committee that has been working with us, bringing this project in. Next week, Jocelyn's will be here to talk to seniors. We'll have a half a day on the 17th. We'll have some academic advising. We're also going to have our little club fair. Our club fair is we have a lot of different clubs and organizations in our people. A lot of the freshmen and the new students really don't know everything that we have to offer, and so they kind of the clubs get to kind of sell themselves and try to increase the enrollment. Talk about that enrollment. You know, we just like talk enrollment. That's always a fun thing to do. But it's actually been pretty. So there's only been what, some days. You look in here. Okay. The lowest day, if you can imagine, was last Wednesday, not last Wednesday, the Wednesday before. Right before the prayer. That 87%. Activity going on in fair.
What is our enrollment right now? Numbers
Right
what?
now, I think it is 352.
Really? That's up almost 20 kids.
That changes day to day. We just got a new student today. Then here in probably 10 days, we'll probably drop about 2 of them. Haven't shown up. We actually have them get some letters to schools or requests for records, which is good, instead of just dropping them. Most of the time. I know.
I think we're around 350. Huh? And we had last year at about 330 or 328, something like that. Freshman class bigger than we thought, or just getting some kids there everywhere.
And some freshmen. This year, no, so yeah, I was expecting 93 because I know we put it correctly. going, most sophomores 94, juniors 87. And seniors 7. And I think that is it.
Thank you, Rob. Activities Director report, Brock. Sit up here at the table if you want, Rob.
Yeah, that's all right.
Good.
He's telling us through the locker rooms. Basically what I got there, you guys, is just a breakdown of our fall participation numbers. And it has the last 3 years below there. So our golf program, 21 boys, 7 girls. Last year we we're at 24, 7 girls. Cross country is 9 boys and 13 girls. The year before we were at 9 and 6. Volleyball program is 30. Cheer program is 16. Last year we were at 12. And the football program makeup is 50 student athletes this year.
Now, do we have some 8th grade golfers?
We have 2 8th grade girl golfers in
Okay.
that. We have about 8 homeschool on the cross country team.
Really?
They make up a good portion of that.
Both boys and girls?
Yes.
Good.
And then just to give you an update on the football field scoreboard, we filled those 5 sponsorship spots there. We ended up getting, it's $1,500 a year for 5 years, what the contract is. Super grateful for the people that jumped at that. Susan McCray, CPA, Steiner Federal, Big Time Sportswear Design, University of Montana Western, and Shepherd's Garage. So, yeah.
Tremendous.
So if you remember right, I don't remember what we took that out of, but we'll recoup that in year 2, our portion of that scoreboard. So anything after that will be into the school. So
So tell me again, you had Susan McCray, Western.
Pioneer Federal,
Pioneer.
yep, Big Time Sportswear Design, and Shepherd's Garage.
And that's a 5-year commitment for each of them at $1,500.
$1,500 a year, yep. And it looks super nice if you have to see it. It looks really good, yeah.
What is stopping me?
And then Stockman's donation was almost 19,000, I believe, just under. We recognize Stockman at the first game. We're gonna try to get these other folks at this game, so. Let's give them the recognition they deserve for their contributions.
Did you have trouble finding sponsors, or did they pretty much come to you, or?
A couple phone calls, to be honest. Yeah,
Great.
it was kind of trying to figure out what the market for it was, so. Got high and ended up in a good spot, I feel.
5 is all you had room for?
Yeah,
Great.
that's all I have.
The Western works, I need to do that.
No, it is.
We've done a combination between activity report, principal report. To a little bit about some activities that are gonna be happening this week, but follow.
So for homecoming, we have a theme. It is going to be Dr. Seuss. Featuring the Lorax, the Cat in the Hat, Horton Hears a Who, and Green Eggs and Ham for the themes for the separate classes. And that will also be the theme for our parade floats for the different classes. We also have all of our dress-up days planned, and we're gonna have the pep rally is gonna be really fun too. I will be on the cheer team leading that up, so it'll be really fun to just get ready for homecoming and celebrate. So it'll be really fun.
Great.
I mean, is a week from this Friday?
No,
It's 2 weeks, isn't it? 2 weeks. With Princeton,
French.
you know, then they were trying to get a dance going again, but it just with all the other activities, just weren't able to kind of. So we may try to do that next year, better further ahead. Maybe get the girl basketball. Change a little bit. This year. Probably not gonna have the whole tree dance. But like Monday, the beef club's gonna host a homecoming barbecue lunch. Wednesday, we're gonna do that chalk line and seniors will paint the bee. And then,
they are gonna paint the bee. That was one of the things our class reunion people, they were disappointed that the bee is starting to disintegrate. Since
so normally you're in charge of that, right?
I haven't been updated since I'm here. I will gladly end that up.
Okay. And then of course, then Friday. The parade. Once again, we tried something last year and. Didn't quite work out the way we wanted it to, so. Back to those.
Sure.
Just have to see what that looks like originally.
Oh.
Dr. Seuss would be fun, that would be neat. Okay. Thank you, Emily. Rock, anything else?
That's all I have.
The consent agenda items, boss.
Yes, I'd like to recommend the 9.1 board consideration to hire Roy Sevelstad as Route 8 and activity bus driver. He's been a substitute bus driver for us. He's actually done it before. He would be replacing Silas.
Move to approve Royce of Alstead for Route 8.
Second.
Being moved and seconded to approve Royce of Allsted, Route 8. And an activity bus driver. Is there any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
It's 9.2. I'd like for the board to consider the hire of Rosa Morrow as substitute route bus and activity driver. She's coming to us from Bozeman and has experience driving a school bus for Bozeman School District.
I'd make that motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to hire Rosa Morrow as substitute route and activity bus driver. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
And 9.3, in the meantime, until we were able to hire a full-time custodian, I was speaking with Jack, and he's got a couple young ladies and students that are willing to put in a couple hours after school. And so I would like the board to consider the hire of Abigail Eason and Taylor Bergeson as student custodial workers.
And so they were part of the summer crew too, so they've been working on
That's great.
the school property, so they.
So they have some experience.
And Taylor is Jack's daughter, which we should be aware of. So
It's great.
been moved and seconded to hire Abigail Eason and Taylor Bergeson as student custodial workers. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That's great that they're willing to help us out.
Absolutely. We'll take all the help we can get.
You bet.
For 10.1, would like the board to consider to approve the enrollment of district students. I would recommend we probably move into executive session just for right individuals to protect the individual's right to privacy.
You want to do that now, or do you want to do the other things and do that last? How would you rather do that?
We can move it as the board would like.
And if everyone's okay with that.
We'll move 10.1, we'll move 10.6, and move to 10.2. Board consideration to approve part 1 goals for 25-26 school year. So the sheet looks like this. Part of this is big from my slideshow. For our orientations for our teacher or technical employee orientation. When the school year started. So these goals are more of a qualitative nature and quantitative. And so that's why I refer to these part one goals, because I do have goals that are more quantitative in nature, numerical based, so and focus more on student achievement. And doing a little research before the school year began back in July, as you know, I've mentioned before, we're part of the Cognia accreditation process, in addition to the state's accreditation process. And their last review was about 2 years ago. I think it was Megan's first year. And we're coming up on our mid-year review next year. Well, these were 3 of these 4 goals were identified by the Cognia expert reviewers as areas that we could show some improvement in. So first is engaging students and parents. And so essentially that's the systematic involvement of students and parents in the school improvement process, which would improve transparency, accountability, and effectiveness of school reforms. That's one area, and again, that was identified by the Cognia folks. Next is promoting student voice, which is why I'm happy that we have Emma here tonight as representative of our student council, because they feel like we could be more engaged and responsive, and we could promote a more diverse learning environment by incorporating more student voice into decision making. Next, database decision making. And that's using any of our academic assessment results and analyzing those results, and then actually using that analysis to affect instruction, to improve what we're doing. Based on my cursory review, Megan has kind of put in place, and Mr. Havas said before her, we're using our Northwest Evaluation Association's measures of academic progress. So NWA MAPS is kind of the acronym for those. We test once in the fall, once in the spring, and we do reading, language, science, and math. And so we're actually just started today with testing, where we're testing, doing some language testing. And then, so we're doing a good job of collecting that data, doing those assessments, but we could probably do a little, take it another step further by actually using the data that we've compiled, identifying the gaps and the weaknesses and the strengths as well, but really look at none of those weaknesses and starting to tailor our instruction to start to bridge some of those gaps, to supplement some of those areas. It can also really inform our skills lab, our tier 2 instruction. And so that's what I think that Cognia would like us to do, to take the next step. And lastly, provide a safe environment. This is one that was selected by the committee last year. This is not a Cognia one. This is, I think, just a good one in general to have. I think we should always work toward providing a safe and welcoming school environment, because that in and of itself will improve student engagement, that will help bridge social barrier, and just promote a positive school culture. So those are more of our qualitative school goals, and hopefully maybe by October I'll be able to show some more quantitative school goals. But if you recall, our district strategic action plan is about that big. Yeah, I'm hoping to kind of narrow that down to something a little more palatable. If we can kind of, so I need to take some time to sift through some of that data with some of the other teaching staff, and maybe highlight some things that we want to focus on for this school year in terms of academic achievement improvements in that area. So I'm just asking for approval tonight, because our school goals should be approved by the board.
Those look great. Do we need a motion to approve them? Okay, I would make a motion to approve part 1 goals for the 25-26 school year.
And moved and seconded to approve part 1 goals for the school year. Is there any more discussion? That looks really great, Josh. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, passes unanimously.
Okay, moving to 10.3. I hate this, but we're back to policy here. This may be a year or 2 process. Suzanne and I, we found this one. We just find some policies that are kind of outdated or need revision. So the first one is policy 7405, and that's procurement card. This would be the first and final reading. And let's see, no, this is the first reading. These are just the first reading. This is a new policy. We don't have this policy yet. This is an MTSBA model policy. And you can see there from the model, it's recommended a meeting in June. We circled back because we discuss credit cards in August. So we wanted to keep those two the same. Also, we have to identify how many procurement cards we have. Currently, we have 32 procurement cards. And we'd like to set a credit limit not to exceed $1,000 on each of those. Did you want to explain a little more, Suzanne, about our BMO cards or procurement cards and how they're used or what they're used for?
Uh.
You on the spot?
It's kind of wide open, I guess, right now. We use them for all kinds of things. A lot of it is like on activities when someone goes out like for hotels, meals, if it's postseason. Right now, like golf is using it all the time for our fees. When we go golf somewhere, they have to pay it for fees. But then we're also like transportation has one, as you see on the planes every month. And that's Sean has one, that's John Campbell has one. We use them a ton.
Currently, debit card.
Yeah.
That. And has control of. You can add money, delete money, not delete money, but put it back in the main account. But you can move from different accounts. To pay for certain things. So it's debit card. You know, you add money to it. So
So try to stress everybody to get something approved ahead of time. Try to keep their limits lower so that if they don't try to use it, a lot of times it'll get denied. Or if I forget to increase their limit, will get denied in time. So, we really use it for a wide variety of things, especially anymore, because it's easier to use the card than.
And a lot of these anymore won't POs. Right.
You.
Whatever reason. This is.
But these just provide a little more accountability. And if they go a step further than your more traditional credit card, because we can assign, so we can attach them to an individual person, we can attach them to the department. And that allows us to track spending, it allows us to control spending. And so that I like the accountability that the BMO cards give us as opposed to a credit card, because a lot of times the school credit card, you're just getting the Beaverhead County School District credit card. And then, and we may have to change the limit on that based on what we're purchasing. So we're not gonna completely eliminate credit cards altogether yet. I think we're gonna probably keep a couple. But we're gonna move to more heavily using our BMO cards. And we need if we're gonna do that, it'd be nice to have a policy that kind of governs that. And so that's the recommendation. And again, this will be the first reading of this policy.
So we don't actually need to approve anything at this point, just,
We need to approve first.
we do have to approve first reading. Seems pretty straightforward. Trim stuff in.
I sold on. For the first reading of that. This is 7405 cards.
Second,
And moved and seconded to approve the first reading of policy 7405 for procurement cards. Is there any other discussion? Favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes unanimously.
Okay, next we have 10.4, and these will be first and final readings because we currently have these policies on file. So these have been approved in the past, however, they're needed updating. And so one of the last policies that we updated,
bless you.
thank you, referred to human sexuality instruction. Well, we have policy supplements for those that when I was updating that one, I was like, what are these other two? They're policy supplements, also need updating. This is policy, we'll look at policy 2335F1. And that's a human sexuality instruction annual notice. And so I've highlighted in there the updates. One is from this most recent legislation that we session that we had, legislative session. That was House Bill 471. That was just signed into law in 2025. And what that did was, in the past, we had to provide notice 48 hours before instruction took place. We had to do the annual notice, and then we had to do it 48 hours before the actual instruction begins. Well, this last legislative session, they increased that to 5 days prior to instruction. So something we have to keep an eye on. So anytime that, before we start our health enhancement, essentially our PE health related sex ed instruction, we're supposed to notify parents 5 days before that begins. And then similarly, there's other content in our curriculum that may involve elements of human sexuality. And we're supposed to notify parents 5 days before that instruction begins as well, just to give them one more opportunity to opt out should they choose. We do an annual one every year. Already been sent home, I've already received one back. And so, but we're supposed to do it again, just in case that was missed for some reason. Any questions on 2335 F1? On that second page, you can see our courses, just in case you're interested. And the ones highlighted were the new ones added. So we've had, for example, child development, psychology, anatomy and physiology, AP biology, and then we have some novels or excerpts of literature. English 1, 2, 3, 4, AP English, and some of our special education novels. A lot of them are, should be classics familiar, Romeo and Juliet, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Great Gatsby. I mean, this is literature that's been around and taught since probably for the past 150 years. F1. Okay, we'll move on to 2335 F2, and that's the 5-day notice one. So you can see in there where that's been updated. Also in the past, I should point out on page 2, in the past, we had counted as an unexcused absence. It's illegal now. We can't have, it has to be in it by law, counted as an excused absence if they opt out.
What happens if they forget to opt out?
If then they're automatically enrolled in.
They're automatically.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they can't at any time, at a moment's notice, if they wanted to opt out, would opt in. Last but not least, policy 7400, which is our credit card policy. That's how I got down the rabbit hole there. And so this one's currently on file. It's already been approved. This is just the newest. Well, you can see the first one is our Beaverhead County one. I tried to highlight that. And then the second one is the MTSB model policy. We did this since 2007. Probably time to update it. And what in conversation in consult with Suzanne, again, we're going to keep that meeting in August. We'll report all credit cards will be pre-approved by the board. And so the same thing would be for P cards. And then what we'd like to do is increase the credit line limit, because the credit cards are things that will be made for larger purchases. For example, for our BSN purchases for sports related equipment, sometimes that can get very large. If we were going to pay, say for expert counsel, we need to do that pretty quickly. We maybe potentially use a credit card for that. A lot of our larger summertime orders, supply replacements, and would probably use a credit card as opposed to a BMO card. And so that would be a credit line not to exceed 25,000. And then the aggregate would be 100,000 total. Currently, it's at 5,000 per card, and the aggregate is 25,000. And Suzanne, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said a couple of times in the summer we come pretty close to exceeding that aggregate limit, correct?
Actually, in the fall, it's when it gets really hot. Grandma goes on this big trip. It's when it gets. And it's not a good time to miss cards. It's to be the worst.
Need a motion to approve 3 of those for the first and final reading.
I would make that motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to do the first and final reading of policy supplement 2335 F1, policy supplement 2335 F2, and policy 7400. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, passes unanimously.
10.5, board consideration to approve the Newland and Company standard audit contract to review the 24-25 fiscal year. 13 page.
We're getting expensive. Right?
I believe it's $17,000.
We don't have any choice. We have to have it.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty reasonable, I'm not gonna lie.
It is now.
Yeah. RFPs that I've looked at recently are twice that,
Really.
yes.
So did this go up from last year, Josh?
I'm not sure what last year's was.
It did, but it was,
I would say like six, I was thinking 16.
Oh, really?
yeah, not a
I
lot.
was thinking it was like 13. Okay. We can go up further.
Maybe, I have 3% of
Yeah, this is actually not bad, honestly,
Yeah.
I've looked at this a lot lately.
If we could continue to get numbers like that, I'd be pleased. We were paying, I think. 3 years I was up in Brighton, of course, I was into a federal audit too. It was, I think, 35, 38, 40,000.
Really? Okay.
They're really hard to get to.
That
There's
too.
not very auditors that do school.
I believe there's less than 30 in the state. Less than 30.
Good then.
Not a bad price at all. So we need a motion to approve that,
Yeah.
I would make that motion to approve their, contract for the 25 year.
Second.
And moved and seconded to approve the Newland and Company audit contract for the 24-25 fiscal year. Any more discussion? Those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, passes unanimously.
6, board consideration to potentially move the October 4th board meeting. I'm trying to, it's a parent teacher conference, I think. Was that the conflict, Suzanne? Not opposed to still having it. Let's see. Yeah. Let's go to September, October. It would fall on the 14th. So the 13th and 14th are parent teacher conference days. And that's from.
5:30 to 8:30, I think it's.
So if we were to have a meeting, it's just, could be parents in the building. And they might stop by. Because it's a public meeting.
Depends what our agenda on topics say.
What have we done in the past? I can't remember if we had.
Sure, we moved it up, but I was kind of thinking you were maybe gone. We might have moved it up for that many weeks. I couldn't remember. I think we moved it up later.
For you, it's better to move it up than move it back a week, isn't it, for your bills and stuff? Do you like them later?
I got the credit built. Which I can kind of pull the stuff last year, but
Personally, I would prefer not to have it the week of October 6th if I moved.
Do we want to have it October 20th then?
I can make some.
Monday.
That would be
Mhm.
that Monday then.
So
Yeah,
That's not too late for you. 20? Okay,
would you rather go to the middle of the week or would you rather go like
Wednesday,
you're okay with the 20? I'm gonna be gone that week before.
football.
I wondered that too, but I don't see anything.
Yeah.
C squad and GD.
Oh,
volleyball, yeah,
There's volleyball.
and then, yeah, football. Both of them, sure.
Okay. Want to do October 20th then, Monday?
Works for me.
You okay, Chris, with that?
I think so.
Okay.
Was it 20th on Monday?
Mhm.
Sure, Lori and Phil.
Yes.
Two items with the exception of 10.1, which would be consideration of approving all bachelor gift students. Okay, which again, I'd recommend we go into executive session.
Okay. So I.
You can go home.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
At my discretion, the right of the students exceeds the public's right to know, so we will go into executive session. Thank you, Brock. Anyone? We'll just need a motion to approve
Approve
the other district student. We go back into open session again. From closed session,
I would make a motion to approve the three students.
students A, B, and C,
Students A, B, and C.
Second.
and moved and seconded to approve. 3 out of district students, students A, B, and C. Is there any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes unanimously. One other thing that I need to bring up in that, I don't know what you guys did in Brockton. This superintendent's evaluation. We historically have passed out a packet for the evaluations in December. And then at the January meeting, we go into closed session and we'll approve the superintendent for the upcoming year. I'm gonna be gone in January this year, when we would have our normal board meeting. So I wonder if we should pass those out in November and approve your contract in December. Then would that be okay with you? Do you want to look and see what we've used for evaluations in the past, or do you have one you would like to use? Or
I'll look and see what you, especially it's free, you know.
it is, it's just kind of an in-house one we've done.
My favorite one I've had so far was this, we had contracted with Milligan School Data. Newer company here in Montana, it's just run by a single individual, former businessman. With really good spreadsheets. And one of the services they offered was the open evaluation. And so it gave me some really good feedback and charts and graphs and come up with a narrative. But that costs money. And so I wouldn't want to go there quite, it wasn't terribly expensive. So that's why we want to see what we do here first.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I thought I'd bring it up and see if there's something else you would rather use. But
The benefit of that one is that you just do it online. You know, it's like it's almost like a Google document or Google Forms you go through and you can, some of it's multiple choice, some of it's short answer. So it's a little, instead of just getting an actual paper packet, it's a
okay,
more technologically advanced. Yes.
that's not good for me, but that's.
But take your answers and put them in a spreadsheet, like bar graphs and pie charts. That makes it a little more.
Whatever you think would work, but I thought I'd bring it up. We'll be here in January. Not that I would have to be here, but
Would be nice.
it'd be nice if we were all together, so. Okay, anything else to come before the board? Okay.
Sure.
Second.
Second to adjourn. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll try to stay in touch on this mediation stuff, you guys, and